Hey everybody. So for today's movie review, I'm going to talk about the film After Earth. It is the latest M. Night Shyamalan film. It's basically Will Smith and Jaden Smith. They're a father and son cinematically again, like they were in The Pursuit of Happiness. And in this film, and actually I found out at the end credits too that this story was actually written by Will Smith also. Basically, it's in the future where Earth is dangerous to live on. People live in ships up in space, and everything on Earth has evolved. Like every animal is, this big, dangerous creature. Even if these creatures remain small, through evolution, they became more dangerous and aggressive. Thus, why the human race lives on ships in space. So basically, Will Smith plays kind of like this military officer. He doesn't get to see his son a lot because of all the work he's done with the military up in space. And his son is who's played by Jaden Smith, is like some kind of a ranger who's in training. He got recruited to be a part of this group, and somehow he got discharged for some reason. And so basically, him and the dad are now about to go out and do something in space. Something happens with the ship. Something goes wrong. Um, Several of the people on the ship die and they land on a planet. The planet ends up being Earth, the Earth that we abandoned. Um, Will Smith's character is hurt. He really can't move around that much. So basically he's in a chair throughout the rest of the film. And he has some type of speaking device where him and his son will stay in touch while the son goes out into Earth and looks for the part that they need to get the ship back up and going, while also getting Will Smith up and going again. So basically, Jaden goes through, this dangerous Earth now, and with his father's side with this speaking device, and he has to survive and retrieve this part that they need for the ship, and find a way to get Will Smith up and going again. So that's basically After Earth, you guys. Um, for the positives and negatives, I did think this is for the positives. I did think the Earth had a great apocalyptic look to it. I thought M. Night Shyamalan, whether it was CGI or actual environments or a set design in a real environment, whatever he did, I thought the environment they used for this apocalyptic Earth really looked good. It almost looked like something out of Avatar in some ways. There were some decent action scenes in here, specifically when Jaden Smith has to outrun and outbeat some creatures in order to get the ship part, and find the cure for this dad and to get up and going again. Yeah, they were just really decent action scenes, some decent creature effects. I know there's been a lot of complaints that some of the CGI in this film looks too fake. To tell you the truth, the CGI didn't bother me too much, but there was some other issues with the film that I had. But as far as the CGI goes with these creatures on Earth, to tell you the truth, it really didn't bother me that much. And like I said, the scenes they were used when they were in action, the action scenes that involved animals too, they were pretty decent. Um, some of the futuristic outfits these characters wear, specifically Jaden Smith's outfit, it's very unique because, like, when he's in certain environments, the color changes on it. It kind of almost adapts to the environment. So that was a very interesting idea for these futuristic suits in this film. I think Will Smith's outfit can do it too, since it looks very similar to Jaden's. But because he's on the ship throughout the movie, we really don't get to see, the effects on his outfit that much. Um, the depiction of family values was decent in this. There was a lot of scenes in here where Will Smith and the son, and Jaden Smith, they have arguments like a father and son would about certain things. They kind of they always inform each other, and like, I think this way, and I think doing this is not so good, and I think this way, and all that kind of stuff. So the depiction of family values in this film was pretty decent for the most part. The father and son development, I thought, in this film was very good. Mostly because at the beginning of the film they don't really know a lot about each other. Basically they just know that they're father and son. And throughout the film, they basically have to survive, and they really care about each other. If Jaden got hurt, you would definitely get the sense that Will Smith's character really cared about him, wanting to pursue this part and coming back safely so he can have his son back again. The overall concept of this film, you guys, was pretty decent. I mean, going into this, planet that we currently live on, and people living up in space because it's too dangerous to live on. They land on here and they got to get a part in order to get back up to space. Pretty neat concept. And to tell you the truth, when the trailers for this film was first released, I was pretty impressed by what Shyamalan provided for us as far as the storyline goes. But I'm about to get to my negatives here, which kind of goes against everything I was just talking about. For the negatives, you guys, this film is very forgettable. I filmed this review here, shortly at like several hours after I saw the film. It's just really forgettable. I mean, I really think a year from now, I'm not going to remember a single thing about this movie. M. Night Shyamalan, he's made The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable and Signs. That being said, he's made so many more memorable movies than this that I'm probably just going to forget about this one. Basically, After Earth to me is just going to say, well, at least it was better than Last Airbender. That's basically what this film's probably going to go down as. The film that was just so happened to be better than Last Airbender, but it still wasn't a great film by M. Night Shyamalan. Another big problem I have with the film, and the person I saw this film with said this also, this film was overly serious. They took this film way too seriously, and I think there's enough goofy elements of this film. Like I know it's not a comedy, but there's enough. You have Will Smith in the film, and I think, he's a slick and smooth fella in real life, and I think to not let him, because I think what makes him so fun in all these movies, like in Hitch and I Am Legend and Men in Black, is he adds himself into the character, and because Shyamalan wanted him to be this really, really serious character that's stone faced throughout the whole movie, will never smile. It just got really boring, and I just really didn't like the guy after a while. And it wasn't just him. I mean, Jaden was very serious in this, and the other characters they were interacting with before the ship crashed and everything. Just it took itself way too seriously, and I think if this film wanted to be, if they wanted the audience to like it more than what it turned out to be, I think they had to tone it down a little bit and add more fun into the movie because it almost felt like because Last Airbender bombed so badly, Shyamalan had to make this really big, serious project, and I think he almost took that too literally with this film. Will Smith is underused in this film, you guys. He's in a chair throughout the movie in the ship in pain. He's just kind of sitting there giving his son advice and really underused. And like I said, you gotta let Will Smith add a little bit of himself into these characters, even if it's a very serious part. Take Pursuit of Happiness, for example. He got to add a little bit of himself, not a lot, but a little bit of himself into that character, even though it's based off a real story for that film. With this film, and like I said, he just felt underused and like he was just there because Shyamalan wanted him there. Um, there were some really boring characters in this film that I really didn't care about. Um, to tell you the truth, I don't think I can even name a character in this film that I like that much. I think if I were to say a character that wasn't too awful, maybe the Jaden Smith character, just because we got to root for him getting this part, and he's the one that basically has to go through Earth and everything, and it's really dangerous to be on. But other than that, this film has some really boring characters, and specifically when Will Smith has these monologues about his experience being in wars and everything, I just kind of felt sleepy and it was boring, and yeah, just some really boring characters in this film. There was some bad writing in this film too. I mean, it just, ugh. Yeah, there was just some lines like, oh, I'm gonna fall asleep. It was just some really bad writing in this film, and I really think Shyamalan and Will Smith or whoever wrote this film really needed to go back and make some better writing for the film. Also, this film feels too short and brief, and it's an hour and 40 minutes, so it's not a short film, but at the same time, it's because it's less than 2 hours, and because this film gets so little done, it's basically, ship crashes, Jaden has to go get this part, they get the part, they go up in space, there's no plot twist like in other Shyamalan films, the end. It just feels so short and brief, and it's just like, I just sat down, and it's just like I hate when a film is so short or it feels so short that it feels like you just sat down watching it. So that's another problem I have with this film. Overall, you guys, I do give After Earth a 7 out of 10. Like I said, this apocalyptic Earth looked great. Decent action scenes. The futuristic outfits were interesting and unique. The family values part was fine, and the father-son development was fine. And like I said, the overall concept of this film was fine. But to tell you the truth, I think if a better director or a director that had a more interesting approach to this film took on this idea for a story, I think it would have been a better film. Like, for example, if David Fincher or if Ridley Scott or if even James Cameron, who I know is busy with Avatar 2 and 3 right now, even if any one of those directors took this film on, I think they could have done a much better job. Um, And if Shyamalan really wants to be the M. Night Shyamalan that we remember from The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable and Signs, I really think he needs to find a better script. I think the man really needs a good script right now in order to save his career because after Last Airbender and Lady in the Water and The Village and this film and The Happening, he's they didn't even credit him in the trailer, and I think that's a sign that he's losing supporters, and I think he really needs to find good scripts in order to be the director that he once was remembered as. So this film was okay, you guys. I wouldn't, to tell you the truth, I really wouldn't pay money in the theater to go see this one. If you really want to see this one, rent it from Redbox, where it's only $1. Or if you have Netflix, if it eventually goes there, maybe check it out one night on that. Like I said, don't pay more than I wouldn't pay more than $3 to see this film. And like I said, you're probably gonna only watch it once, and it's really really forgettable. So After Earth, not so much good news from M Night Shyamalan. I was really looking forward to it, and it ended up being not so good. Um, it's an okay film. Like I said, it's a rental at best.